Hi, welcome back. I'm Oswald Rivera, and welcome to the Oswald Rivera Cooking Show, Oswald at Large, which is fine cuisine with a decided Latin flavor. And today what we're going to have is, believe it or not, one of my favorite dishes, Mofongo. I love the word. Oh, it's great. You pronounce it the same way as you spell it. Mofongo is a dish that is very popular in the Caribbean, and usually in Puerto Rico, in Cuba, the Dominican Republic, and it's of definite African origins. Let me give you a little historical perspective here. We Puerto Ricans, we call ourselves the Rainbow People. We're an amalgam of Spanish, Native Caribbean, and Black African. And this is the genesis of Mofongo. Basic Mofongo is just plantains. This here sucker is a plantain that have been fried and crushed, and they're served mixed with, believe it or not, this is called cured salt pork. In some cases it's called fatback. Now, for those of us who are health conscious, modern day versions of Mofongo can be done with beef, can be done with poultry, chicken, turkey, and you can also do it with seafood. In fact, I recently had a seafood mofongo that was just delicious. It was mofongo made with lobster. So if you want to splurge, go right ahead, be my guest. As noted, the main ingredients of mofongo are three basic simple ingredients. Plantains. Now think of plantain as an overgrown banana. There are two kinds. You have green plantains, and then you have, when they're ripe plantains. The ripe plantains are very sweet, and you can use them as a dessert. You can also use, in my family, we eat them with scrambled eggs, and we love them because they're very delicious. The green plantains are very common to Caribbean cuisine. You can use them as tostones, which is mainly just plantains that have been peeled, sliced, and deep fried, or in a dish that we call piñón, which is slices of plantain layered with slices of beef, one layer on top of the layer. Think of Puerto Rican lasagna. Salt pork, or as they used to call back in the old days, fatback. And the final ingredient, of course, is something dear to my heart, garlic. In my culture, we use a lot of garlic. Don't worry about vampires, they'll never come near us. There you have it. Let's get to work. First, we peel and slice the plantains. Very simple. You slice the ends, thusly, and then what you do is you make a slit right down in the plantains itself. Remember, this is a green plantain, so you have to take care. And what you do with the slit is you try to open it as much as you can. Sometimes it's easy and sometimes it can become hard depending upon, again, the texture and how ripe or how green the plantain is. Once that is done, you peel it back almost like you're peeling a glove from a hand. And here we go. And it's coming. And there you have it. Now, once this is done, what you do with the plantains is simple. You slice them about, I would say about a 1/4 inch slice at an angle, as they say in French, on the dais. And there you have the plantain. First thing you do with the salt pork is you wash it in cold water to remove any of the excess salt. Thusly, there it is, and then you pat it dry. And now it's ready to be sliced. As I said before, you can substitute beef, you can substitute chicken, you can substitute seafood, but this is the traditional way of done. It's done with the fatback. The first thing you do is you slice it. I'm just going to do a couple of slices here so you can get the idea of it. And then each slice, you're going to slice them into like strings. And then these strings, you're going to dice into fine cuts. The next step is, after the salt pork has been diced, and cut is you soak them in cold water from anywhere to 20 minutes to half an hour. Along with the salt pork, you also have to soak the plantains. This have already been done. You soak them in cold water to cover from 20 minutes to half an hour. And there they are. And now we're going to strain and dry the plantains. Here. To draining, you can use paper towels. I like better using real cloth. Very simple process. Place them in 2 towels of cloth and then you just dry. And you set aside, and then we're going to do what we call the chicharron, the salt pork. The next step is making the chicharron. I love this. What is this? This is pork crackling or fried pork fat. That's basically it. Salted pork that has been fried, deep fried to a golden luscious color, and then you mix in with the plantains. Why it's called a chicharron, I do not know, but this is endemic to our culture. This is the cured salted pork that has been soaked, and the same story as before. We drain it and then we dry it in the cloth towels. Just as before, we make sure that all the excess water has been removed. And then we place in the towels to dry. Then we fold it up and we set it aside. Okay. Next is cooking the salt pork. What you do is mainly you use a skillet or a fry pan. You don't need any oil. The salt pork is oily enough as it is. And remember, you cook it over high heat for about 5 to 6 minutes until it's crisp and golden. Now that it's golden, we're draining it into another pan. As you can see, I put on my apron because now we're going to do the real cooking. This is basically hot oil. It's you can use canola oil, corn oil, or vegetable oil, and what you're going to do is you're going to heat it up till it's very hot, and then we're going to fry the plantains. This is the secret. Usually the oil has to be very hot, but then you turn it down to medium heat and you cook the plantains for about maybe 2 to 3 minutes per side. Now we're ready to fry the plantains. You can see, just put them in. You may have to do this in batches, depending upon the amount of plantains you have. And you fry them over medium heat. Again, just a few minutes until they're nice and golden. In this case, the oil, as you see, has covered most of the plantains, so there's no need to turn them over. If you have less oil, a minute per side, turn over again. Oh wow, yes. It looks better in the camera. It looks for real. Again, as noted, you can cook them until they're golden or until the fire department shows up. Remember, you have to cook them not in too high heat. Medium heat, because otherwise they will burn. You want them nice and golden, not burned to a crisp. When I say golden, just like Ella here. Her name is Ella Golden. There. Once they're done, you dry them on paper towels, then you place them into a bowl like this and you mash them up along with the pork crackling. Once these are done and you mash them, that's it. You have a great dinner. Otherwise, order Chinese. The classical way of cooking mofongo is you place them in a bowl and then you mash them either with a masher or a mallet. However, the more modern convenient way is to use an all-reliable food processor. It's easier, it saves the bother and time. Take the plantains. I've already done it with a few of them. You cut them up in... Use your hands, that's it. Just nice, you just want nice little pieces. There you are. You get the idea. This is one thing I've learned from my mother. When you cooking, you wash and cook at the same time, so that way you won't have a pile up of dishes towards the end. So that's why I'm cleaning the bowl. So let us do the dirty deed. The next step, once the plantains are done, you add in and mix in the pork crackling. It's done. This is how mofongo should be crushed and chopped. It looks very nice. Now the final step, the seasoning, which involves using garlic and what we call a mortar and pestle. This is the mortar, this is a pestle. It's used for crushing herbs and spices. There's a story to this. One of the great American writers was John Steinbeck, who's known for his great novel, The Grapes of Wrath. He also wrote a novel prior to that known as Tortilla Flat, about these Mexican fishermen in Salinas, California. Now, one of the main characters is named Pilon. That's interesting because in Spanish, the name for mortar and pestle is pilon. In the screen version of the movie, the character was played by none other than Spencer Tracy. And apart from Spencer Tracy is very Irish, he made a very believable Mexican character, and he was nominated for an Academy Award. And this will also help me get an Academy Award. For this dish, I'm going to use 3 cloves of garlic, but you can use as much garlic as you want or as little as you want. First, you take out 3 garlic cloves. The easiest way to peel a garlic is to take the flat of your knife and crush it, and there comes the peel. First, some people are going to cut them into pieces. Some people do, some people don't. Some people just place them in the mortar and pestle the way it is. I like to cut them into pieces because it's easier to process. Inside, and you add a little olive oil, 1 to 2 tablespoons. And now you crush it. Now we pour the garlic mixture into the mofongo to season it. And we mix it up. Now the last step, we form the mofongo into balls. It could be either meatballs or it could be larger balls, the way we're going to do it today, and we serve them in individual bowls. Today I'm going to make 3 big ass ones. Look at these suckers. Aren't they beautiful? So here we are, the mofongo balls. The last step, we pour some gravy over them. Now, you can either use gravy or some people, if you have tomatoes, you can prefer using marinara sauce. But either way, this is the last step. Look at that. That just makes it delicious and scrumptious. Here we're at a table with my 2 friends, Jesse LaRock, the hard drive doctor, and Ella Golden, physical therapist. And we're going to enjoy this meal. However, first we're going to give it the taste test. Okay? Now, let's see. Come here. And let me check. Man, is that good. People, enjoy this. It is a great meal. It is quintessential Caribbean cuisine, and you can't go wrong. And so the next time, as we say in my culture, amor, salud y dinero. Love, health, and wealth. Cheers.
Cheers.